It's always coffee time at Kao Coffee. My first job really was a teaching job, but I was a teacher for just like a semester, and then I quit, and I ended up working in a paint company. But that story, you know, I've been there for a very long time, for like 7 years, but I always felt that something was missing. I always felt that I'm being called for something that's really that's really my passion. That's how it was. And so when I was 30, that's when I quit my job. And just really, it was not out of desperation, but I was just really tired and sick of, doing the same thing over and over again. So what I did was I started, and then I thought, I'm an artist. When did I go back to it? I started doing note cards. That's where I started. It's like I was doing it every day, and then I started doing some pieces on canvas. And one day I went to my really good friend back in college, and by then I was super shy. I hardly speak when I was in college. And I had only two friends, and that was, one is Josephine, and she became an attorney, and I haven't seen him for a very long time, and I went to visit her. And so I brought a piece of artwork that I did. It was an 11 by 14 that up to now it's still in her office. And so I gave her that as a gift, and she couldn't believe that I actually am an artist. And so what happened was, she really was the one who gave me the breakthrough. It was the instrument, because she challenged me to create 25 pieces of original paintings and use oil as my medium. And she said, we're gonna have an exhibit. Don't worry, I'll take care of the venue. I'll take care of the guests, of everything, including in the invitation and the pupus, the merienda, because it made all the snacks. So it did really happen. And out of those 25 pieces, as far as I could remember, we sold 23 of those. And she invited the president of our university where we graduated in college, and actually the president bought two, and two pieces that are the biggest one. It was like I think it was 32 by 48, the biggest size. Two, it didn't sell, but I donated one to the university, and the other one, after a couple of months, I sold it to this lady who worked in the bank. That's how it all started. But it was really Attorney Joe who gave me the breakthrough. He was the instrument for me to become a full-time artist. And then after that, everything just fall into place. And the husband of my really good friend, when I was in college, I was staying in a boarding house. Back then, it's like because I came from a very tiny community. I have to go to the city to go to college. And I live in a boarding house. And her name is, I call her Manang Edith, and her husband is Australian. And he commissioned me to paint 2 feet by 50 feet. Can you imagine how huge that is? And that was really like a huge breakthrough for me. And before I came to Hawaii, I made hundreds and hundreds of art. I had, in fact, 3 exhibits back in the Philippines before I came here. Yes.
Okay.
And then when I came here, Ronnie, my husband, told me, don't work for other people. Follow your passion.
Yes.
Do what you love, and because you're really an artist. He would always tell me that you can't buy talent. Like, you have that inside of you, because he saw me when I first came here. I would just throw, like, I do portraits, but I'm not doing it now. But I didn't go to school of art. What I did is to just make it a habit to do it every day. Like, I practice.
Perfect.
Yeah. Until, I find that the more that you practice, the more that you get better. That's just what it is. It's the key. It's like excellence is not it's not an act, but it is a habit. You just do it, and as you go along, you see that you progress. Actually, you develop, because there's that innate. It's innate in all of us, and I truly believe, because when I quit my job and then I started doing my art, which I really love. It's like I found my true calling, my true passion. At that point when I did that, I was broke. I had nothing. In fact, I would journal, and I was like, I felt like I was naked and empty because I was emotionally empty. I was like financially empty. But I realized that by going back to what's inside of me, by tapping into my gift of being an artist, I realized that I have everything, in that my wealth is just within my reach, in that I have something that nobody can take away from me. And I think the good news is that we all have that. It's not just me or those other people who have that gift, like the gift of good voice or other talents. We all that gift of creativity inside of us. All we need is that we just have to tap into it, find that one thing that you really love, and create a habit of doing it consistently. Mikael, I always believe in collaboration. So that was my intention, that, when we open the gallery, it's not just for myself, but to collaborate with other artists. And that really did happen. We invited other artists to put the artworks there for like 5 years actually. We have that, we have other artists in the gallery. And it was so much fun. We had exhibits of other artists, and we did actually for the Rotary Chairs for Charity. We did a lot of good stuff in the gallery. Those were the years when, we just have so much fun, and so many ideas came out of me, creative ideas like the Iron Man.
Right.
Like
to
day
make
before.
pictures.
Yes. So the day before, this was back in 2010. Like day before, that was Friday. So I thought this would be a cool idea, capturing Iron Man from the rooftop of the hotel.
Right. I remember that.
Yeah. So I talked to the manager, Mr. Jacko, and asked him if I could capture Iron Man from the rooftop, and he said, "Yeah. Why don't you do that?" So it was amazing because you know what I did? I captured the swim.
Yes.
I captured the swim, and then
And when they jump on bicycle.
No, there's a cannon actually.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I would make sure that the cannon, the smoke of the cannon is included in the photo.
Okay.
And I would wait a little bit because for a couple of minutes, because this is transition. Another part of the swim, where they're coming back from there's a trail where they have to. It's I think 2.6 something. And I would capture that's the ultimate photo.
Yes.
Actually, the most triathletes, because I sell it to them. That's the one that I sell a lot because it captures the whole pier where all the bikes,
Yes.
and you see the triathletes coming back from the swim.
And it happens right here. That's where the Ironman begins.
So this is they start there, and then they go around. There's a trail, there's a boat there. The Body Globe would, block their way, and they come back. I have this favorite shorts that has a lot of stain, and it's really old. And I have a Keen sneakers that's really like vintagey already. It looks really dirty, and I thought, how can I didn't want to let go of them because that shorts was like my favorite shorts, and the Keen sneakers is really my favorite one too. So I thought of how about upcycling it, because upcycling, the definition of upcycling is a creative reuse of something that has lost its true value. And what you do is you bring transformation by making it aesthetically beautiful, so that it becomes of much greater value and of much greater quality, and its marketability will become much higher as well. So I thought of that, and I said, normally I would use the textile paints, but I thought there must be textile markers or fabric markers. So I went on Amazon. I'm not being paid by Amazon, but that's really where I got it, and I found indeed fabric markers. So that's how it all started. I upcycled my shorts, and I upcycled my sneakers, and it turned out really beautiful. It's like wherever I go, it's like, wow, who did that? Who did that art on your sneakers? It's like, I said, I did it. So I thought I'm gonna, while being in the gallery, that I can do. It's something that I really love so much, and something that while I'm sitting there, I can do it, and like people can see me doing the art. That's how it
Yes.
all started. And I thought, this is my Mikael. I really thought that young people, girls, would be the one who would love it. That would be my niche. But it turned out to be the baby boomers, on their 60s, 70s, 80s, and women on their 40s, 50s. That was a surprise for me. And yet, at the same time, I'm so happy and grateful because those are the ones who really can afford to, to pay for my wearable art. So that's how it's started. And then first I introduced I use Converse. This is not, I'm not being paid by Converse. I use Converse in kids, and the one that has elastic at the back.
Yes.
And then I got into the high tops. But surprisingly again, women, older women, they are the ones who are the coolest and the grooviest ones, I would say. They love high tops actually. And I love it because so I only have two. I focus on two Hawaiian flowers, hibiscus. In the Philippines we call it gumamela, and plumeria. In the Philippines we call it kalachuchi. Really do that good smell. And both flowers, they really love it. So as I mastered it, like if it's just the elastic Converse, I can finish it within 45 minutes, no distractions. And the high top, I can have it like 1 hour and a half because it's high top and it's more like art in there. But I'm enjoying it so much. And it's amazing really that the moment I sit there on my table in the front, women, older women would just come in and go, whoa, they freak out actually when they see it. So, I would really I love to work instead. I'm gonna stick to the original and design. I wanna collaborate with younger artists, who really have the talent in, visual art, so that they can hone more. I wanna collaborate because I wanna stick to the original. And then that's I want to work with them, and they can do their own art, wearable art. I call it wearable art that you can wear. And guess what, Mikael? So my friend, attorney who gave me, who was the instrument of my being an artist, full-time artist. So I asked her, I want to create a brand of my wearable art. So can you please TVR, my Tess Villegas Rumley?
Yes.
So instantly she created for the TVR, for the initials. She said, for T, it's called timeless. V for versatile, and R, real. So TVR, timeless, versatile, real. Original wearable art. Isn't that cool? I want an art gallery and edible art cafe. At the beginning, we were just selling pastries. And then a friend of ours introduced acai bowl in crepes because it was really popular in Oahu. And so we did that, and I said, I want to change it into an edible art. And it's all gluten-free, dairy-free, nut-free. And surprisingly, that idea actually became very popular. We became very popular here, the acai bowl in the crepes. And people's like, what is that? Like they could smell actually the coconut oil. And it's like, what is this place? Is this an art gallery or a restaurant? So
combination.
Yes, a combination. So back in 2017, actually brought it out. We put it in, we call it Barefoot Zone. And that Barefoot Zone name was way back then when I was still in the Philippines, and a really good friend of mine, too. We thought, way back then, we wanted to have something that's really healthy. And we want to call it Barefoot Zone. We're just going to have it as all organic, all natural products healthy food that we can process. It's like Barefoot Zone, be grounded, back to basics, eat healthy, live healthy. That was the concept. And it really got stuck in my heart. So when we brought it outside, we called it Barefoot Zone. That's how it all started. And we all serve plant-based. No meat, it's all just vegetables. And again, what we did was, I tweaked, the burrito the regular burrito, I tweak it into a plant-based burrito. It's all plant-based. And it clicked again. And what happened was like, so the pandemic came, and we serve a cycle, and we made it so beautiful actually. So people's like, they do want to eat it because it's so beautiful. It's really an edible art. And so during the pandemic, we had no choice but to temporarily close it. And at that time, I started doing the live cooking show on Facebook and Instagram. And the producer of, the founder of Blue Zones, Dan Whitner, his producer, I got an email inviting me to be a part of the book, Blue Zones American Kitchen. And then so I did accept it, and Dan Whitner, the founder of Blue Zones and a best-selling author, came here, and we did that cooking. So I contributed 3 recipes, and the book, actually, Blue Zones American Kitchen, was published last year in December, and I'm in the book. And for those who would like it, because it's all plant-based, like 100 recipes to 100. So Blue Zones are places all over the world where people live 100 in beyond. So they're being called centenarians because, 100 years.
Yes.
And, they live a healthy lifestyle, not necessarily some of those like in Loma Linda in the United States. There's only one place that's Loma Linda. It's actually a place where it's being run by the Seventh-day Adventist. They're vegetarian. And, there's in Okinawa, and then in Greece. So there are places all over the world where people, So as a Blue Zone, the principle is you have to have a sense of purpose, whatever, how teeny tiny thing that you do, you have to have a sense of purpose. In Japanese, they call it ikigai.
I thought it sounds exactly
like
that.
They call it ikigai.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you have a sense of community. And you exercise, you eat healthy, your mindset is healthy also. And those are the combinations of how to live a healthy life and, live
Purposeful.
a long,
Long life, yeah.
long life, longevity. It's just like there's that force inside of you that is always there for you, to take care of you, to protect you, to make you safe in whatever challenges and difficulties that we go through in life. It's like it's telling you, I'm here for you. You're not alone. And that's powerful. It's like, I discover along the way that I'm not just being fully human, but there's that something in me that's spiritual. And it's something that, again, nobody can stain it. I call it divinity. And for me, it's grace for me to realize that my life is not mine. It's something given to me by somebody higher than myself, and that it keeps me grounded. It keeps me down to earth. It keeps me humble.
Yeah.
Really, seriously, like I'm nobody. I realize that I'm nobody, and that this gift of life that has been given, because come to think of it. And then another thing that I realized is that I came into this world completely naked. Seriously, I didn't bring anything material. So what is there for me to attach to anything material? Because really, I came into this world naked, and when I die, I will really just be turned into dust. And what I would live in this world is the spirit of what was me. What's me as a human being,
And
as a
what
spirit
people
being.
can remember about
What people
you.
can remember
And also,
about me.
I believe that we take with us to better world our memories, our thoughts, and the feelings, and that's what we can create
And I think,
here.
yeah, that's what people would always remember of us. That who you became as a human being, and that I came into this world completely naked, but not empty, because I've been given the gift of life, and that I'm meant to live it to the fullest. That's just what it is. It's like the other day I read this book every morning. It's called Loving Each Day, and it says your experience of spirit will allow you to claim your will allow you to claim authority over your life and your consciousness. And that's the only authority that counts for anything. Wow, this is a really good question, Mikael, because you know what? I really didn't, it was an accident that I took literature. I wanted to become an architect. You know, I want to take architecture, but it did not happen. So our eldest sister was the one who suggested that I should take English literature. And that is one thing that I have no interest at all, but I ended up taking literature. I am not the type of person who loved to read before, but by grace actually. Even though at the beginning it was really hard, but I would say that my first conversion, I say that the word conversion did happen in literature. So on my second year actually, I had a hard time understanding poems because literature basically talks about, you know, poems, short stories, novels of famous authors like Shakespeare and the rest. And so, but my sister, the second sister I have, she said, you know, when you read the poem, short story, novel, you have to read beyond the lines. It's like when you read the poem. And actually, it was like I was awakened actually. And I realized that it's read not just with your, you know, with your eyes or read it from your heart. And that was it. It was like I realized that literature basically talks about life. It talks about the joys and pains of humans. And then that was the time when I really loved literature. And moving forward, actually, I applied it when after I graduated from college, I became a teacher. That's when, you know, when I was there, I was just when I taught in that school, I was just being myself, as a, you know, being myself, and as a teacher, that my role as a teacher is to impact my students and to bring a bit of change, just a bit of it. I didn't want to bring this big change to them, but it's a bit of change. That I just want to be myself. And I realized that as I opened myself to them, you know, I appreciate the inner beauty that's inside of me. You know, so I appreciate their inner beauty inside of them. I guess I am a beautiful being as well. That was just really the beginning of everything, you know, that we were talking a while ago. That there's that receptivity to what's inside of us. And I felt that after I graduated from college, I started working. I felt that there's something higher than, you know, than my being human. There's something inside of me, a force that is so powerful, that's always leading and guiding me. And that whatever I ask for, it's always given to me. And I'm not the type of person who would go to church like every Sunday, seriously. But I have that, you know, I have that feeling, I have that experience that there's something higher than myself, that later on, I define it as God.